everyone, Sophia here, My Great Challenge. Welcome back to my channel and another episode in getting things done. But we are not in the basement today, we're actually outdoors. So I'm filming this way after the fact because I actually never got around to doing the intro and outro of this video. So quickly, let me tell you what this is about. If you remember, I have a sump pump. A sump pump is basically a French drain pump that sits in the basement. So there's a French drain all around the house, water that seeps alongside the foundation, gets into that gutter, the French drain, and because there's a slight incline, I talked about the slight incline in my latest video where I'm redoing the furniture. All that water that seeps through the foundation goes into a well. In that well, there's a pump. The pump then, once it reaches a certain level, pushes out or exhausts the water directly into or onto the curb, which is basically the street. Okay, so it has to reach a certain level. During the summer, barely any rain, the water gets in there, if any, that seeps through the foundation, if any, and then maybe once a month, water gets out. We're entering fall, and we're about to get a lot of rain, plus the snow when it melts and everything. So there's going to be double duty on that particular sump pump. The problem is that it's a 3-inch pipe that when we bought the house, we did not realize was slightly outside of the limit of the curb where I have the Belgian stones. So every time the snowplow was getting too close from the curb, it hit that particular piece of PVC pipe, and over time it shattered. First, it was the rocks that was around it, the concrete that was around it, or anything that was holding it place, and then eventually it got to the pipe. So my pipe is all crushed at the front for about a whole foot. With that, dirt got into it, and I suspected, I was right, that there was also roots in it. And I'll explain that later on in the video. We've had trees, we have a big bush that is right next to where the pipe goes from the house to the curb. And back in the days, there used to be a ginormous tree in front of our house. That tree the town removed, probably because it was diseased, and replaced it with a smaller tree, which is the one I currently have. Roots got into the pipe. So it's creating another problem, is that the water is not really exhausting fully, but I'll have to address that at a later time. So the point of this video today was to get to the curb, dig up the soil and rocks and whatever I had around that pipe, cut the pipe, clean the pipe, and join the pipe with a new pipe that would then go a little bit before the curb with a cap on it, an open cap, just to reinforce it. It's basically plumbing. I have never done this job before, never, but I have to do it. So this is what I did. I went in, dug up the whole thing, joined the pipes, spent a lot of time with my hand. You'll see inside that pipe, well, the damage is gone, but I was all raw, trying to get the roots, and that was it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I'm not a plumber, I'm just a homeowner who didn't want to hire a plumber and did a DIY fix on the sump pump pipe. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start. This has been reseeded. This is what you saw me reseed the other day or 2 weeks ago, so it's growing. This got another couple of days, but we're talking about this area here. You see this little strip? Okay, underneath it is the pipe to the sump pump. The pipe comes out here and expels the water onto the street. Because of the snowplow, right? When it comes here, I guess the pipe was a little bit too outside of the Belgian blocks, they broke the pipe. So I have to replace the pipe. The first thing I need to do is expose the pipe. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to dig up the whole thing, and then I'm going to try to reconnect a 3-inch pipe to it, bring it all the way up to maybe up to here, and then we got to gravel the whole thing, and this whole area here is going to be paved with bricks so that we can bring the garbage can onto it and it won't damage the grass. Let me get started. I don't know if I can do this, I gotta be honest, so this is a crapshoot for me. Let me start by digging this thing. The problem is that we have a lot of roots from the tree. I'm gonna have to dig it from underneath it too if I want to be able to properly fit another pipe. Alright, so when I put my hand all the way up to here, I get like a really big pack of roots. So what I'm going to do is try to cut this a little bit shorter so I can see where the roots start. See it? There's a whole root in there, so I gotta try to get it out. Let's see where it starts, because that's where I need to cut my pipe. Look at that. Okay, that's the start. That's a big root. All right, so I'm digging up here to see if I can catch the root. So far nothing, though maybe it's coming from underneath. But here's the pipe that I got, which is the replacement. And I got this cap here, which I'm gonna put at the end because it's a little bit sturdier, and I'm gonna retrieve it just a tiny bit. And then between this pipe and that pipe, I'm going to add one of those. So it's basically going to help join them. So that tells me right now that I can keep digging a little bit more to see if I can find that root. And then I'll cut it just about where it needs to be cut. And that'll give me access to more of the pipe over there to kind of like dislodge whatever we got in there. That's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna dig up a little bit more, and then we'll cut the pipe. But at the end, this is what I'm gonna have to make it sturdier. All right, so this is as much as I can do, which is pretty much going to the concrete. I'm having a hard time believing that the pipes would break through the PVC. I know that years ago we had a problem with the toilet down in the basement, and the guy came in with the, the Roto-Rooter guy, And he told us that all of the old pipes that are underneath this are cast iron and used to be covered with terracotta, something like that. And that's how the roots get in. So I think the root is coming in either from that tree or an old tree that was here in the 40s or whatever. And the roots are coming in from way before. I am not going to dig up this whole thing. So what we're going to do is cut it to about here, which is going to allow me to access this area here to kind of like clean it up a little bit. We're going to install the pipe, put the rocks back in, cover it, and call it a day.
I can't really tell.
There we go.
There. Well, there is some root.
And the water being blocked behind it. Yeah, you see all the water behind it? Look at that. Alright, let me see if I can dislodge some of that. Darn it. Hold on, you know what? I'll just go in there with my hands. Yeah, it's a big root.
It's all the way back there.
You know what, Scott?
Might be under the sidewalk.
Oh, it totally is. Hold on, but I can't. I don't know how the water gets out. It looks like we're gonna need the roto-rooter guy to come in.
Let me see if I can grab it.
Don't you have a bigger hand than me? Hold on. Whew, okay, that was an ordeal. So I removed as much as I could. I got 3 of those inside, and they're definitely coming from over there. So I tried to clean up as much as I could. I don't think you can see. There's still some in there, but I'm hoping that it will leave enough room for the water to be discharged from the sump pump. So I sent Scott downstairs to fill up the sump pump and see if it's going to start exhausting water. Alright, so I'm going to attach the coupler to the pipe first, to the extra pipe. My understanding is that you put the primer on and you got to do this really fast. You get maybe like 40 seconds before you put on the cement. Alright, so here's the cement. Okay, so this is where we're at. I'm putting rocks to hold it, and right now we're filling the bottom part here with gravel, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to do here at the front. But again, there's roots in there, so I'm going to wait until it rains to see if the sump pump is going to get activated. And eventually I'm going to have to get a roto-rooter guy to come in and get all the roots. So this is about 2 inches from the sidewalk. So that should save it from having to do this ordeal again, because I gotta tell you, that was an ordeal. Not fun at all. Don't mean to complain, but not fun at all. So the old Belgian block, because I put this cap here, can't go back here. So I'm gonna move back, and then what we're doing right now is just filling everything up with gravel. Then we'll put dirt back on it, and then we'll see if this is going to work. I'll have to monitor, see if water's coming out. As long as water's coming out, I'm good. I just don't know if I did the right thing. Whew, okay, so we're trying to like level this, and let me see the size of that root. Look at this thing. Do you think it's from this current tree or the old tree?
Who knows?
Oh.
It still looks like the wood is wet.
Yeah, it's of course, so it's this tree.
Probably this tree.
It's a matter of time before it started lifting the sidewalk, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Alright, let me finish this up. Alright. That's it. We haven't had any rain, so I will keep you posted as to whether or not I finally get water coming out. Well, I think I did, but it just... I dislodged most of it, at least on this side. I don't know where that root is coming from, but bottom line is that this is all done. Repaired the pipe, moved it back a little bit, and I lowered the dirt. It's probably going to have to be lowered a little bit more, because my next project here is going to be to pave it. Purpose of it to bring the garbage can and, you know, leaf bags or whatever, so that we can preserve this. What do you think? It's going to work?
Hope it does.
We'll see. So now you've seen the video, you've seen what I've done. We'll see what happens. We haven't had any rain since. We put water in the sump pump to see if we could get the level to rise enough for the sump pump to push water out. It didn't. So we said, all right, you know what, let's just wait for this thing to get to the level, and then we'll check every day if it's exhausted any water. The goal now is twofolds. One, remove the roots. So I can only do 2 things. Either I hire a roto-rooter guy. He's going to come in with one of those boring snake, and he's going to go and get rid of all of that with a hose from the sump pump into the street to push everything out. That's option number 1. Option number 2, which is probably what I'm going to do first to see if it works. There are products that you can dump in your sump pump or dump in your toilet. Watch out for septic tank. I'm not going to answer that. I'm talking about direct to sewer toilets. You can dump that product in, and it will destroy over time. You do it once every 2 months, I think. It would destroy over time the roots that are inside the pipes. The problem with those is there's 2 types of those products. There's the foaming one, which is kind of like a soap, and then the other one has copper. So if you use the copper, it will kill whatever plant has its roots inside your pipe. So in my case, it would probably be the big bush that I have at the corner. Quite frankly, I plan on getting rid of it. So I'm going to use that because it's much easier than battling trying to get a live tree out of that corner. I hate that tree. I don't like it. I want to put a fig tree there instead. So I'm going to pour that product and see if it works over time. And then once in a while, I'll check to see whether or not it seems to be working. And if it doesn't, well, then what I'll do is get the roto-rooter guy. So I want to go through all of the other DIY options before I hire the guy. Some of you probably disagree with that. That's fine. I want to see if that product works. Because back in the days, we had the toilet backup, if you remember. Well, probably not because I wasn't on YouTube yet. And the guy came in and he told us that the sewer pipe that goes to the main line sewer in town was basically filled with roots, and he had to go in and bore that whole thing. But he didn't tell me about those products back then. Maybe they didn't exist, I don't know. But my old pipes are cast iron. Some of them are cast iron covered with terracotta. Terracotta is all crushed from normal pressure in the soil. Plus the soil moves. That's why you keep on getting rocks, you know, getting up to the surface after you thought that you had gotten rid of all of your rocks. A year later, you have rocks coming up and you're like, where's this coming from? The earth moves. So the earth moves, the terracotta breaks, it exposes the cast iron starts rusting, some spots more than others, roots push through, and as soon as there's a little crack, a root is going to wedge itself into it and make it bigger. That's how you end up having roots inside your pipes. I'm going to try the product in the toilets, and I'm going to try the product in the sump pump because I need to make sure that sump pump is functioning properly. But again, I have to wait right now to see whether or not the water gets pushed out. It should. It was before, albeit in a smaller amount. But we never had a flood coming from the sump pump, so I've got to assume that the sump pump is functioning. Otherwise, I'd be flooded in the basement, correct? All right. So that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was hard work. It was back-breaking. Next step with that particular corner is to level it. Get it down a little bit more, probably by about 1 inch. Bring in the special sand. I'll put a weed barrier, a landscaper's fabric, put the special sand, and I'm going to break that area. And that's going to be reserved for us to put the garbage can, or the big can on wheels, garbage bags, anything on bulk day will go there. So that way it doesn't damage my newly grown grass. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe right here in the corner. You like the new specs? Joyous. I'll put the link down below. Subscribe right here in the corner. Find me on Facebook and Instagram at mygreatchallenge. And that would be it. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.